Have you ever heard the saying, you are addressed by how you dress? Well, it's true. Your appearance matters, and don't let people trick you into believing it doesn't. I'm not saying you should always wear makeup or you should look a certain way, but I'm saying when you put an effort into your appearance, people will treat you differently. And when you put an effort into your appearance, you take more pride in how you look and you will show up more confident.
Your appearance will get you further than almost anything else. And I'm telling you guys the truth. I don't know what anyone has ever told you. But if they told you that that's not the truth, they lied. Do you think it's best not to look your best every day so you have a better wow factor when you really get dressed up? When I really get dressed up, it's going to be a wow factor. If I look this good every day, you should see me when I'm dressed up. Oh, that's lazy to me because your dressed up is going to be my everyday. Think about the women who dress up every day or dress cute every day or look cute every day. Your dressed up is going to be their normal. And so what happens when they show up? No one's going to see you. Thank you, Deborah. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So think about it like that. The women who look good every day is going to still look better than you when they dressed up.
Men care about looks. As much as I preach to my girls the importance of being mentally stimulating, never think that I'm saying looks don't matter. I speak about the good in men often, but realistically, I understand I wouldn't attract these men if it wasn't for what I looked like. Pay attention to detail. I am never seen without being well dressed. My makeup is always fully done. My manicure is always fresh and bright red. I always smell incredible. I pick clothing that is well tailored that accentuates my body. I maintain my weight. I always make sure that I show the best sides of myself. This ain't just for the cameras. It's a brand that I am always sure to uphold. Ladies nowadays like to promote the jeans, sweats, Jordans, and casual looks because it's just less work. I like to say, if you want less work, aim for a lower man. I hate to admit it, but girl, there is levels to this. A high-value man in most cases will have high standards. They will always care about how you dress. They care about your hair. They care about these things because your brand is a reflection on him. They say if you want to know how rich a man is, pay attention to his wife. But regardless of a man's status, he always wants a woman to look her best. So stop rushing, girl. Stop always thinking less is more. Less is less. So I challenge you to go out there and find your own style. Find something that's particular to your brand. No matter where that man goes or what that man is doing, he will always be thinking about you because you are irreplaceable.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but people treat you better when you look better. There was a study done where they pretended to put makeup on women and the women were told to come back and report how they were treated that day and everything that happened during the day. When the women came back, they reported feeling more confident, they reported being treated better, they reported getting better attention, all of these amazing things. But in reality, they didn't actually get a makeover. They looked exactly the same. So what does that say to you? The better you look, the better you feel, the better you perceive the world. Because no one was actually treating these women better or worse because they looked the same that they did yesterday. The woman herself, in her own reality, felt like she was more beautiful or more confident or whatever she needed. And in turn, her reality changed to fit that worldview. So, look good, feel good, do good, be good, get good.
I lost 50 pounds this year, so welcome to another episode of things that nobody tells you about losing weight. And today we're going to be talking about a slightly deeper topic, thin privilege. This episode stems from a question I've gotten repeatedly on all of my weight loss videos. Have I noticed people treating me differently after losing weight? As a quick disclaimer before I start, there is a reason I haven't addressed this question or even discussed the overall topic of thin privilege, and that is because I have had a level of thin privilege for my entire life, even when I was 50 pounds heavier. Now, before people start coming for my head about that, when I say thin privilege, I mean that I have never gone to a clothing store and worried about whether they carry my size or not. I have never worried about whether I'm going to fit on an airplane seat, a roller coaster seat. I have never had the functionality of my daily life hindered by my size. And I truly believe that creators who have struggled with living in a society that does not accommodate for larger bodies should have their voices amplified on topics such as thin privilege, even more so than mine. Now that y'all have heard my disclaimer, let's talk about my personal experience of how people treat me before and after losing weight. Now, there are two levels that I want to answer this question on. First, the people that I do know and were in my life, such as friends and family. And then second, being strangers and people I encounter on a daily basis who I do not know personally. Now, first, the good news is, in regards to friends and family, I've noticed absolutely zero difference in how I am treated, how I'm regarded, respected, and loved as a person before and after losing weight. Now, this is true for both the girls and guys in my friend group, my boyfriend, my parents, my siblings, my extended family. Literally every single person in my life that is close to me shows the same level of respect and love and care as they did before, because they've always treated me with such kindness and compassion, regardless of my size, which I am extremely lucky for. And I know that's not the case for everyone, but if people are there in your life who truly love you, your weight, your size, your appearance will not matter to them. In regards to strangers that I encounter in public on a daily basis, the story is a little different. I will be completely honest. I receive a lot more compliments nowadays, especially regarding my appearance. People just seem to be a little bit more polite and hold the door and are much more giving. Not that people were rude to me before ever, but it's definitely something I have noticed. I think the main reason for this is because strangers' only perception of you from the very start is what you look like and your appearance on the outside. And it truly is unfortunate that we live in a society that so greatly values appearance over personality and what is on the inside, but it's definitely something that's very eye-opening, especially for other people that I've talked to who have lost weight. It's a very common experience.
So y'all go to school out here?
Yeah, I go to state.
Okay. What about you?
Where do you go?
Look, shut up. I'm sorry. I'm talking to her.
Because that's the honeymoon phase. But they will still treat you well if you look good. Okay? Because they already know somebody else will if they don't. So they have to. They have no choice, or else competition comes in. It's already there, but it really starts to compete after that. So they have to. So that's why I tell you guys every day, get up and do it. It doesn't even matter. If you love yourself, if you want to be treated well, get up and put in that work. Okay. And it doesn't take much effort. And the reward is very long term. And it also helps keep you, also having options. So it's a win-win. Okay. Make sure, can it be too intimidating? Not if you already have someone, and not if people see you like this on a daily basis.
So if you don't think that pretty privilege is a thing, it absolutely is. I'm at the airport right now, and I'm going to tell you something that just happened. So the seat that I had, that I was given, was in the back of the plane, and it was the middle. You know how you just get assigned a seat or whatever, right? I went up and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just ask to see if I can get a window seat. A guy got up to the counter before me, and he was also trying to change his seat. I just stood there and witnessed the whole thing happen. And the guy was like, oh, do you want a window or do you want aisle? And he was like, and then he was like, it's gonna be this much for a window, this much for aisle. It was 86 for a window, 70 something for aisle. So he was like, oh, I'll take the aisle. I was like, oh fuck, this man just paid $75 to sit in an aisle seat. And I was like, okay, well. Anyways, I just kind of stared into space and pretended I wasn't listening to the conversation. Then it was my turn, and I said, hello, this is the seat that I was assigned, and I was wondering if I can change it possibly to another seat if there's any extra seats. And he was like, okay, let me take a look. And he was like, what would you like, an aisle or a window? And I was like, oh, I mean, whatever. And he was like, well, which one? And I was like, well, whichever is free. Or I was like, whichever one is if there's one that's free or the cheapest. This man put me in aisle 7, and he was like, there's nothing in front of you, so you have a lot of leg room, and it's by a window seat. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Okay, great. And I was like, and then he just gave me my ticket. He was like, there you go. And I was like, thank you. And also nothing weird, there was no weird interaction. There was no and I'm telling you, I didn't have to flirt or smize. I literally was just hello. And what I mean by this is this is proof that pretty privilege is a thing, but you have to use it for good. Do you know what I'm saying? But it was one of those moments where I was like, look at me just existing. It was great. I'm not mad at it, but it's a real thing. But use it for good, okay?
The guy who was in front of me in line is sitting right behind me, lol. I kind of feel bad.
And I know there's a lot of women out there that are very plain and don't play for the other team, but you look like you do. So that's why I'm telling you, y'all need to do a little extra. Put on some red lipstick, do something. Get your nails done, do something. Okay, because y'all can't be out here looking just like y'all's man. Because that's exactly what y'all look like, a man. some of the time. You can't even tell the difference if it weren't for your boobs or your longer hair. So that's why you have to do a little bit more in your face, okay? And in your colors and clothing, things like that. So I know a lot of feelings might be hurt, but you know, I don't care. I'm trying to help y'all. If y'all want to go around looking like a man or, you know, a lesbian and you're trying to attract a man, you know, you might need to hear this. You might need to hear it, because if you don't, you're going to keep trying to figure out what's wrong. Okay.
How do you know if you're actually attractive as a girl? Okay. I'm not making this to make you mad, but I've recently started dating this girl and I've had experiences with her that I've never had before out in public. Okay. So for instance, the first time we go to Chipotle together, they just give her like free guac. They're like, oh, it's on us. I'm like, okay. That was weird. I've never seen that before. And that's a little thing. So I was like, whatever. It's just a random thing. We just went to Mexican again, and they just gave us an entire bag of chips and queso to take home. And I know these are little things, but it's happened before. People just give her shit randomly. Like, girls too. It's not like these are guys trying to hit on her. These are just women that really respond well to her. I don't know what it is. So does this mean that you're not pretty if people aren't just giving you random things when you're out? No. You can be totally pretty and not have that happen to you, but like, I'm talking like top tier pretty. This is kind of a normal thing. Well, for her.
Because depending on how you look is how people perceive you and how you come across to certain people and how powerful your suggestion is versus if you look a different way. I'm going to repeat that. Your power of suggestion works better when you look a certain way. Even though you're not that way, even though you may look like who did it and why under all the makeup and wigs when you wake up in the morning. If I got on the screen looking like I woke up in the morning, nobody would listen to me. Nobody would click on my videos. Then you'd be like, what is this? Heck no. Click. And so I make myself presentable in order to, you know, give out my message or whatever, because I feel like more people listen and more people listen when you look a certain way. And we all know that is true.
This is a PSA to invest in your looks. I kid you not, I have been feeling like shit for the past I don't even know. Can I tell you what was wrong? The part of this hair wasn't straight. It was such a subtle difference. Like, this part was slightly off center. Something just fell off. I just fixed it and I immediately feel 200 million times better. It's literally like that story of the princess and the pea. She felt that tiny little pea under 1,000 million mattresses. Like, all of a sudden have a confidence boost to literally make as much content as I want. Go outside. There's no better feeling than looking and feeling your best. So if this was a sign, invest in your appearance. Whatever that might look like for you. I did not say your wig isn't straight, okay? Do it. I feel like a brand new woman.